Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Bar Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Justin.
I'm Billy.
How you guys doing this week?
Doing all right.
It goes.
All right, a little bit of housekeeping. First off, John Amos, Good Times, Coming to America, and Die Hard 2 actor passes away. What's that?
Perfect timing from Billy.
Yep.
I remember him from 2.5 Men when he played Charlie's girlfriend's father's boyfriend.
Yeah, I remember him in.
Him and Stacy Keach.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things. He's like this.
I think you're thinking of the wrong person there, John. Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember him in Die Hard 2.
Yeah, I remember.
And he played the restaurant owner in Coming to America, which everyone's really kind of knows him for.
It was the girl Charlie almost married.
I don't know.
But
I haven't watched that show in like a decade.
They break up.
What's his name?
And they have the dog, the little foo-foo dog.
I remember what's his face from The Green Mile.
Stacy Keach.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
No, there's no way that was him.
Michael Clark Duncan was in 2.5 Men.
He was. He played the neighbor. That Jake falls in love with the daughter.
Yeah.
Anyways, condolences to his friends and family.
Yes. And
Todd Irwin, the Oogie Boogie voice actor, has passed away.
On what?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oogie Boogie, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Did you say Tom Owen?
Yes.
I thought he said something.
No, I said what's written down right in front of me.
Okay.
Not that this is scripted or anything.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, condolences to their friends and families. Not as bad as a week as last week, but
yeah, that was a rough week. Okay, next up we got Kendrick Lamar and South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker's new musical Slave Comedy begins filming. And oh my, just based off that title alone, my interest is peaked.
Master got me working.
Well, I think that's just what they're using as the working title for.
Yeah,
I
know.
Decided.
Probably, but it would be great if they just name it Slave Comedy. That'd be awesome.
I don't think you can do that nowadays, Billy. You got to be politically correct.
No, you don't. It's South Park creators. You don't have to be political. They don't care about that.
So, should we talk about the terrifying news, Billy?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, the first screening over in the UK of Terrifier had 11 walkouts during the first 11 minutes. You care to tell us why, Billy?
Yes, because supposedly they didn't tell the people who were going to the screening that it was Terrifier. They just said it was a holiday movie. So they thought it was going to be like, they were expecting something like Red One or something of that nature. They were not expecting Art the Clown massacring people in the first 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
I bet you it was all old people, too.
Gotta give it to them though. That's a good way to create buzz.
Yep.
Yeah, that's smart.
Oh. Yep.
They were probably honestly hoping that like an elderly person maybe had a heart attack or something.
And the country of France has banned it from minors seeing it in theaters.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear how our theater's going to handle it. Are they going to? Because it's unrated. So it's kind of up to the theaters to decide how they're going to treat it.
That's
if it's
why
going to be.
You got to go to the first screening, brother. You got to get there early.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just talking about like for kids getting in to see it. Like, are we going to treat it like an R-rated movie or NC-17? You know?
We'd have to see it and be the judge of that. But
I know. But I mean, based off of part 2 and the way they said this is going to be kind of wouldn't be surprised if they say no one under 17 is allowed in. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay. All right. Well, now it's time for the feature present. Nope.
Coming attractions.
You really need to label those buttons, John.
I do.
All right, then you need to learn how to read what you wrote, John.
Oh, there's a CA on the first one. That means coming attractions. Okay. My bad. Well, it's not time for the feature president. It is for time for coming attract. Listen, this is been a weekend. All right, so first up we have Nosferatu, December 25th. Yeah, I'm a no-go at this station.
John don't like the scary movies.
No, John don't like period pieces.
Oh, come on, Nosferatu.
This is giving me
classic.
fucking the Nun vibes.
The Nun vibe. Do
Oh,
you
the
never
Nun
watch the
movie.
original Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
You never watched the original?
No.
My God, it's 100 years old. Go watch it.
You're fucking 100 years old. Anyways,
Yeah, I wish.
all right.
You know that.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it.
Oh, no, it looks scary as fuck.
I mean, I might be persuaded to go see it. I don't know.
Don't worry, John. We'll cover it.
Mhm.
All right. November 1st, we have number 2, Clint Eastwood. I don't know. We'll see. It's not
Yeah.
one. I like Clint Eastwood, like the actiony stuff or crotchety old man. I don't really like his. Like I still haven't seen the one he did about the Atlanta bombing.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that one's good. Jewel.
Richard Jewell.
I like that one.
So I don't know.
Not much of a fan of his dramas.
I mean, you got to figure,
Well,
like, out
other
of
than
all
Gran
the people
Torino.
to be picking for jury duty, and this guy gets picked in the case where he possibly was the killer.
Kind of an interesting take.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you hear like witnesses being called to testify when they were the killer, but this is a fucking juror. And now that
What better way to create reasonable doubt?
so yeah, this just because it's Clint Eastwood, this is a go for me, anyways.
Okay, next up we have Getaway coming out December 6th. This looks funny. I like Nick Frost. You know, Shaun of the Dead, World's End, Hot Fuzz. Another horror movie with him. I'm down for it. It looks funny.
I don't know. The British accent kind of annoys me, but
Oh, jeez, come on, get off it.
I don't know. I might go see it. I don't know. You never know.
This is definitely a watch for me. I am looking forward to this very, very much.
Justin?
Are you
I'm gonna
frozen?
watch that. It looks funny. No, I was reading the things. You were talking about your movie.
All right. And next we have Carved coming to Hulu October 21st. It's not very often you see a killer pumpkin around Halloween time.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a direct ripoff of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Or that segment in the Tales of Halloween where they had a killer pumpkin. So
Yeah, I might give it a try as one of my movies for the week. But yeah.
yeah.
It's coming up on Halloween time. You need some Halloween type movies.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
And October 30th, we have Time Cut. I don't really remember that one, so I don't.
This is
What was that?
basically Netflix's answer to Amazon's Totally Killer. Girl goes back in time to catch the killer that killed her sister. Like, it's been done. Wasn't it the same thing and It's in a Wonderful Knife?
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. And next up for Christmas time, we got Baby Girl. It's like a sexual harassment type movie with, like
Sexual
boss.
harassment panda?
Well, yeah, CEO, and the intern getting it on, that never ends. That never ends well.
It's a John movie, huh?
Yeah, it is. John said he wants
John
to see it.
coded.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching it, but it's an A24, so it's got to be somewhat decent.
And then
Okay.
lastly, Casa Bonita Miome.
Mia Moore.
Which is
I'm glad I
currently
gave that
out
one a
on
jump.
Paramount Plus. The South Park guys by the Casa Bonita restaurant, and it looks like it's a fucking disaster.
You
Yeah,
worked
it's
in the
all about-
restaurant industry. When isn't it a fucking disaster?
Well, I like the scene when they hit the pipes, and it's like all the pipes are like this. It's not supposed to be like this. But looks interesting. I'll
And
probably
that place
check it
was
out.
from the 60s or 70s. I mean, come on. You know it's fucked. There be asbestos in there.
Arr, yeah, asbestos. Yeah, definitely worth a check out. I guess it's streaming now on Paramount Plus. All right, what did we watch this week, Justin?
I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, both the original and the remake. Yay, me.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Busy.
All right,
Busy,
Billy?
busy.
All right, I started off with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. And then I watched the 50th anniversary re-release of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74 in the theater, which was awesome.
Did AJ wet the car bed?
No, he did not wet the bed. No, he loved it. He went with me. And we saw, Mickey wasn't very happy
What, that he saw it? Or that
that I took him
he,
to see it. We've already seen it before, so I was like. And I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, that wonderful Canon sequel from Canon. I like Canon. Yes. Then next up, one of my favorite underrated 80s comedy classics, Nothing But Trouble. Watch that. And finally, one I recommended to John, but he says he's probably not going to watch it. Here for Blood.
Probably check.
It's funny. It was Here for Blood. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, there's this movie. It's about this guy. He's a professional wrestler, right? And he's dating this girl who's like a college student, and he does all these like jobs to kind of get by, and one of them is babysitting. So she's got to study for this exam, but she's got a conflict with a babysitting job. So she asks the professional wrestler boyfriend to babysit the girl for these people. So he agrees to do it. And it turns out like there's like this cult that's trying to kidnap the girl and the babysitter for some like ritual. And hilarity and violence and blood ensues. It was pretty fun. It was original and it was funny. Lots of decapitations, lots of fake blood all over the place. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was funny. And the Max, they were like the cult members. They all had like these different masks based off like their personality. It was pretty
So what
cool.
would my mask be, Billy?
Your mask? I don't know. I think you'd get the Slackjaw mask.
The what?
Slackjaw. That's one of the characters.
I don't have to watch. No, I can talk about. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that was it. Yes.
All right.
That,
Now it's time for my tiny list. I watched
17
the
movies.
Texas Chainsaw
Nap
Massacre
time.
2003. And then I had this itching to watch Signs. So I watched Signs. And then I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974. And then I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 again. Still sucks.
It's D. Snyder in it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, D. Snyder plays this It was good.
And then I watched the Return of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I guess was Texas Chainsaw, the next generation.
Yes.
The one with Matthew
Matthew
McConaughey and
McConaughey.
Renee Zellweger. That was all right.
I'm shocked they didn't get sued for copyright infringement from Vince McMahon. They have a character named Meat.
Yes. And he's like a giant wrestler kind of bad guy. Yes.
All right, are we not listening to me and just talking
I'm
amongst
listening.
ourselves, kids? Then I watched Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning, Texas
What you have for
Chainsaw Massacre 2. The what?
And what did you have for dinner yesterday, Billy?
I had a nice porterhouse pork chop.
Then I watched Leatherface.
Go on.
And then I watched the documentary Living with Chucky. It was not what I thought it was.
Was it not Chucky?
No, it was Chucky, but it was
Was
from
it Chucky from Dedham?
no. It's basically one of the special effects artists' daughter interviews all these people from the movies. And it was kind of interesting. No, it was quite intriguing. Then I watched the new Salem's Lot on Max. It was okay for a vampire movie. And then I continued on with my
movies. Scared of them vampires.
Then I watched Insidious: The Red Door. I watched Hubie Halloween again. I watched Bridesmaids. I needed to break up the horror. And then I watched VHS Beyond, which I regret. And then I watched Jennifer's Body and Halloween H2O 20 years later.
Why do you regret it, John?
Regret
Do
what?
they give you nightmares?
What? VHS Beyond? No.
Yes.
It was mostly sci-fi themed.
Oh, you don't like sci-fi.
Yeah.
He doesn't like anything that could potentially happen to him. Hence his fear of vampires. We figured it out right here. I figured it out. He doesn't like vampires because he's far too susceptible to things that suck. I want to suck you, say no more.
All right, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
That was clean.
All right, I guess now it is time for our special double feature. Head-to-head presentation.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
Sally, I hear something. Stop! Stop!
This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
Dad. He's a bad man.
I'm gonna have to call the cops, I guess.
Excuse me.
What the hell was that?
What?
I just saw something.
All right, that's it. If somebody's out there, just come on out.
What is that? The hitchhiker. What were they all doing here?
What the hell are you doing in my house?
You're all gonna die. He's killing him!
Who's killing who?
What's wrong with you people?
Oh, my.
I was waiting for the feature presentation thing.
I was pushing the button. It
You
wasn't
can't
working.
figure out which one it is.
No, I was pushing the right button, but it just, oh, now it works.
Horror, head to head.
Well, anyways, in this corner, when Sally hears that her grandfather's grave may have been vandalized, she and her paraplegic brother Franklin set out with their friends to investigate. After a detour to the family's old farmhouse, they discover a group of crazed murderous outcasts living next door. As the group is attacked one by one by the chain-wielding Leatherface, who wears the mask of human skin, the survivors must do everything they can to escape. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. And in this corner, in the remake of the horror classic, a group of young travelers, including Aaron, Andy, and Morgan, come across an isolated rural home while driving through Texas. Unfortunately for them, the decrepit house is the residence of a family of deranged backwoods killers, most notably a hulking masked brute known as Leatherface, who begins to hunt the stranded youths down. Will any of the friends survive this nightmarish ordeal? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
All right, and here we have the tale of the tape. Release date for the first one, October 11th, 1974. The remake came out on October 17th, 2003. Both movies are rated R. The runtime on the original was 1 hour and 23 minutes, while the remake was 1 hour and 38 minutes. The original was directed by legendary filmmaker Tobe Hooper, and the remake was made by Marcus Nispel. The budget of the original was only $80,000 to $140,000. I didn't get any firm numbers, but it was in that range. Whereas,
range.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad. I mean, considering most movie budgets are like millions of dollars. And the budget for the remake was $9.5 million. For box office, the original did well over its budget, many times over. Box office of $30.9 million in 1974. And the remakes, once again, did pretty well. Had a box office of $107.4 million. Off their budget of 9.5. The original is currently streaming on Prime and Peacock, while the remake is only available for purchase right now.
Our cast of characters we have for 1974, the original. Marilyn Burns as Sally Hardesty. Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface. Edward Neal as Hitchhiker. Terry McMinn as Pam. Paul A. Pertain as Franklin Hardesty. Jim Seidel as Old Man. Alan Danziger as Jerry. William Vale as Kurt. John Larroquette as narrator. And John Dugan as Grandpa. And for our 2003 remake, we have Jessica Biel as Erin. Andrew Briniarski as Leatherface. Erica Learson as Peppa. Eric Balfour as Kempa. Mike Vogel as Andy. Jonathan Tucker as Morgan. Lauren German as Teenage Girl. David Dorfman as Jedediah. R. Lee Ermey, rest in peace, as Sheriff Hoyt. John Larroquette as narrator. Terrence Evans as Old Monty. Kathy Lampkin as Tea Lady in Trailer. Marietta May as Luda May. And Heather Kafka as Henrietta. Oh, shizzles.
All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, going to the deep woods to get some barbecue.
Mhm.
All right.
Barbecue.
So the synopsis of the original and the remake kind of the same.
Well,
Ish.
yeah, teenagers going.
Yeah. Getting
On a
chased
trip,
by
whatever.
fucking Leatherface.
Teenagers going where they don't belong.
Yep. That's the thing. The first one really just, it's basically a home invasion from Leatherface's perspective, isn't it? I mean, think about it. The first kill, guy walks in as some stranger danger. Stranger danger. He don't Leatherface don't know. I mean, look at Leatherface. You know, he's got like the intelligence of a toddler. You see it throughout the movie, like especially after that third kill, and he's sitting there on the bench. He's like, you can tell what he's trying to figure out what's going through his mind. Like, what the
He's
hell?
trying to
just happened?
process it all. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, this is someone who's not, you know, developed mentally, and he's just living with a bunch of like insane people. I really couldn't put those on Leatherface.
And you can see it like if you watch all the entire series.
Yeah.
He gets worse with each one. Like, I don't know if they make him worse on purpose, but like you can clearly see, like,
I don't know. I think on the second one, on Texas Chainsaw Part 2, they made him more childlike.
Yeah.
You know, like it was definitely much more pronounced. I mean, granted, it came from Canon, and their movies aren't known for subtleties. So, I mean,
and
yeah,
you know, and then you got the guys like Shock Top and
yeah. Well, I always thought Chop Top was supposed to be the hitchhiker from the first. Kind of similar. I don't know.
But they never explain why he has a metal plate on his head.
Well, I figured it was from getting run over by the Mack truck at the end of the first one.
Yeah, it could be. Played by the talented Bill Moseley.
Yep.
So based off of the synopsises alone, would this be a movie that you would go see?
The first one was.
Without the trailer, without any knowledge of what Leatherface is, does this sound like a movie you would go see?
Yeah, probably. I'd say so.
Teens dying, I'm in.
Yeah.
Generally. I'm not a teenager anymore, and I don't have teenagers yet. So, yeah.
Chainsaw wielding.
6 years, talk to us then.
Maybe.
You
Then I'll more likely be. Then I'll be really rooting for the goddamn killers. Like, get them fucking teenagers. Get clean your goddamn room. Get them. Get them. Stab them again.
All right. So how about the casting of the original? Not many big names at the time. This was kind of.
Well, like the biggest name out of it is John Larroquette.
Yeah.
And this was long before Night Court, long before any of his career. He was just friends with Toby Hooper. And Toby asked him to read the line, and he agreed to do it. And it ended up being like one of the most iconic monologues in our history.
And his voice too. It's so like,
oh yeah, he's got that voice. Dang.
Like a radio voice.
Exactly.
Like
butter.
So how about the remake?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Jessica Biel, fresh off of her what was that show she was on?
Was it Dawson's? No.
The religious show. Seventh Heaven?
Seventh Heaven. Oh yeah, one of those crappy shows.
And
CW.
Kind of odd seeing her in a horror movie, but
well, that's why it made so much money. Everybody was hoping that, horror movie.
Yep. Jessica Biel.
I do have some issues with the remake, though.
Yeah, I do too.
There's a couple.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing about like the original, remember when we were kids, everyone talked about the original, as if it's a horrible movie. You should not watch it. It's like, it was taboo. And you watch it, and it's not, you think Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, there's going to be a lot of blood and guts and violence. There really isn't.
It really isn't, no.
No. You think about it. Most of the kills, hammer.
Off screen.
Yeah. The one chainsaw kill you see, or the one chainsaw kill you get, is Franklin. And you don't see it because you're behind, you're viewing from behind Franklin, and he's and just you see like Leatherface like whipping it around and going in. You don't see any of the blood.
The only real connection you see with the chainsaw is when Leatherface takes his leg.
Yeah,
his own
exactly.
leg.
That's the worst gore in the entire movie, is when he cuts his own leg. Because
it's pretty bad when he gets run over by the truck at the end.
You don't really see anything. I mean, you see him get run over, but you don't see.
Fairly violent.
Yeah, but it's not like blood and guts all over the place.
For the 1970s.
Yeah.
Well, they say this was the first of the slasher films,
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that you have this big hulk of a guy swinging a chainsaw wearing somebody else's face.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like the scene when he turns and looks at the girl and he's wearing the boyfriend's face. Like,
yeah. It's
when they have Grandpa.
That's what made the first one so great.
He's hitting her with the hammer and all that.
Or she's sucking the blood off his finger. Off her finger,
Grandpa could hit me with a hammer any day of the week. It didn't look like it hurt.
Like just that whole dinner scene where she's like tied to the chair and she's just screaming and pleading. It's psychological horror at its best. At its best. I mean, it was great. Which I think that the remake, it went too far into the gore. It didn't need it.
Yeah.
Like the girl shooting herself in the head. Yeah, exactly. Shooting herself in the head at the beginning. Why? You didn't need that. I mean, I understand why they did it, but it's like, it's necessary.
I mean, I think because that's what the audience was craving at that time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot
This was right in the middle of all the horror core, the
Hostel, Saw.
Yeah, Hostels, the Saws, and
so
that real stuff. So that's what the audiences wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to admit that when she shoots her head, that's a pretty good special effect.
It is pretty good. You get the look right.
I mean, in the original, the hitchhiker only cuts his hand with Franklin's knife.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you got this girl pulling a gun out from her vagina and like.
Yeah.
Exactly. But let's talk a little more about the effects and the gore in the second one.
Yeah.
Trying to think now.
This could take a minute.
So obviously Jessica Biel survives.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, and then Do we see much of the chainsaw kills in the second one?
No, I think
Not
it's
really.
No.
No, I
I mean,
yeah,
ju-
it's
More, but
well, you see the guy get his leg taken off, running away.
Oh yeah.
Is that?
Is
And
that the
then he
one where
gets hung up.
Leatherface loses the arm?
No, that's later.
Oh, that must have been a different one. I knew I should
No,
have watched
he
that.
loses his arm when he's chasing Jessica Biel towards the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was
no,
thinking.
this was who was it? Was it Andy? Andy was like the blonde guy. Was that Andy?
Yeah.
I can't remember who
I think
was
so.
who.
And then he picked him up and hung him on the hook.
Yep. Yeah.
Like even that was gruesome, sticking them on the hook.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing in the original, but you don't actually see it.
Yeah.
And it's just like all you see is the look of pain on the girl's face. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
You know?
But like we said, this was the era of blood and guts and torture porn.
Yeah.
So they had to make it a little more blood. And it did well. It did.
Yeah, it did. It
millions. So
do well. I mean, we'll get to the review wise. I mean, the reviews weren't the greatest, but people went to see it.
But my biggest issue was, and Justin will understand why, but Sweet Home Alabama didn't come out until 1974.
Oh yeah, they were going to see.
This was based in 1973.
Yep.
And they're playing Sweet Home Alabama on the radio in the van.
Leave it to John to pick that up. You just get it.
If I didn't bring that up, somebody would be upset with me, you know.
I know.
Just for your brother.
Yeah.
But and then I forget who. I was watching it around somebody, and they were like the way she was Jessica Biel was dressed during that movie with the low cut jeans and
the white wife beater. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it made so much money.
Yeah.
They were hoping that got ripped or wet or bloody or whatever.
But all you had to do
Spoiler
was
alert,
wait till
it
I put out you
doesn't.
Chuck and Larry to see her in her underwear. So the settings of the movie obviously identical.
Well, not completely.
Well,
much bigger house in the second one or in the remake.
Yeah.
But backwood Texas, bunch of hillbillies. Let's talk about
hillbillies.
Yeah, let's talk about the sheriff.
He's basically playing the same person from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, but now he's just a sadistic sheriff. And I like him when he's rapping her with fucking saran wrap. He's like, I used to love this. I used to, cop a feel. And there was another movie how he ended up as the sheriff. I think it was Leatherface.
Yeah, it's the sequel to this one.
Oh, the prequel, yeah.
Prequel, yeah.
And he takes the uniform, and then like the mother's like, "Oh, you think you're a big shit in this uniform now, huh?" And he's like, "That's Sheriff Holt," or whatever the hell he said.
Hoyt.
But yeah, all right. So, do the stories appear to be similar, or are they different?
Oh, way different. Way different.
The whole reason the kids are there is different.
Yep.
The ending is completely different.
Yep. Everything's different. It's not even like I wouldn't even consider it really a remake as so much as a reboot.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even have the same names. I mean, in the original,
there was no handicap.
They didn't really get any.
Did you guys feel more empathy for Franklin because he was disabled and in a wheelchair?
No, he was too annoying.
Yeah.
Where's my knife? The last time I had my knife, you had it. I shouldn't have came. You didn't want me to come. The sympathy card. Sticking the tongue out and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel any sympathy for Franklin.
Did you feel any sympathy for the characters in the remake?
No.
Nope.
You pick up hitchhikers. That's what happens.
Imagine if we'd picked up hitchhikers on our cross country trip. Well, we weren't going through Texas, but
I don't know. They're pretty crazy out there in the middle of the area anyway.
yeah. Remember that small town we stopped in, so you had to wait for the phone call?
Oh yeah, South Dakota somewhere.
Fucking redneck.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So how about the evolution of Leatherface from 1974 to 2003? Is he more scarier or is he less scarier?
I don't know. A big guy with a chainsaw is always going to be scary. And I did like that they kind of developed like that whole skin condition he had, and how he's like basically missing his nose. Kind of interested to see him without the mask on. You don't see him like that in the originals.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite scene from either one?
Little cool shit.
I like it. That scene when the old man is like trying to comfort Sarah, then brings in the bag, puts her in the bag, and tosses her in the truck. And then you find out, go ahead.
I like the scene in the remake when Jessica Biel runs into the trailer.
Oh,
right?
With Tea Lady.
And you shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
I think his name is Jediah, the little kid outside.
Yeah, Jediah.
Grandma, let me in. No, you stay out there. Fucking rednecks. Like,
my God. Yeah.
Man, Texas rednecks. So they're a special breed of redneck.
So apparently the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre house is now a restaurant.
Yep. I heard that.
Restaurant.
Sounds like a place worth visiting.
Movie paraphernalia all over the place.
How about the movie lengths? I believe it was
right around an hour and a half for both of them.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fine.
You get the point across.
Yep. Doesn't need to be 2 hours. Doesn't need to be 2.5 hours. Hour and a half, just perfect.
Was there a long enough period of time in between the movies?
Yeah. It was like, what, 30 years almost.
Yeah.
30-ish, yeah. I think that the original ended better.
Yeah.
You just like seeing a
better ending.
That's swing chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's what I would do if I was him.
Just her sitting there in the back of the truck.
Yeah. It's like you won. You won the battle. But you definitely didn't win the war because there's the fucking psycho back there.
I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened to that truck driver that got out of the truck and ran the opposite direction.
Legend says he just kept on running.
All right, so we've discussed if the stories are identical. We discussed whether the differences between the two. Which one had the better kills? I think the remake is.
The remake, I think, just because of the gore factor. The first one, like most of the kills, like you don't see Pam die. You see Jerry get whacked with a hammer. You see Kurt get whacked with a hammer. And you see Franklin getting the chainsaw, kind of. I
mean, based on the times of when they came out,
yeah,
they both had great kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2003 was more torture porn style, whereas 1974 was more practical.
It was more psychological. The thoughts of what was happening to those poor kids.
All right, so we've talked about which killer was scariest, more menacing. The killer's death, he doesn't die. Right? He didn't die at the end of the remake, right?
No.
He just loses an arm.
Sheriff Hoyt. Sheriff Hoyt did. Really? it really, if you want to consider the bad guy, it's not Leatherface.
No,
it's
the
Old Man
family.
and Sheriff Hoyt.
Yeah,
Those
it's
are the
fam-
bad guys in the two movies.
He's a product of his environment, damn it,
Exactly.
and that's a fucked up environment.
Justice
Nature
for
versus
Leatherface.
nurture.
Mhm.
All right, so did either movie get a sequel?
Yeah.
I'll answer
Yes.
this. So we have original continuity: The Texas Chainsaw 1974, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Millennium Films alternate continuity: Leatherface 2017, which was a prequel. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 and Texas Chainsaw 3D with Alexandria Daddario. And then the Platinum Dooms remake continuity: Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. I'm sorry, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning was a prequel, and then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. All right, so there's two of them I haven't watched yet. So. All right, boys, which one is better? 1974 or 2003?
74.
24.
74.
Okay. How many more sequels do you think we'll get a sequel to the 2022 one? Or you think this is
I
just
hope
dead?
not. No, I think it's going to get rebooted eventually, but not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're done with this one for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let it rest.
I mean, they're going to
Let
see
it
how much money it
hibernate.
brings in being back in theaters this year for the 50th anniversary. And
Well, the showing I went to had a pretty decent crowd.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the video game now too from Gun Media, which is much like Friday the 13th. A little too difficult for me to figure out, but yeah, time will tell.
They're talking about making a Chucky video game too, I heard.
Of course.
Similar.
That would be fun. You just run around, stab people's ankles.
Think about all the toy things you get to have. You can ride around like toy tanks and shit and shoot people.
But with our luck, it would be based off of the reboot. It would be Buddy, not Chucky.
Yeah.
And you'd be ugly and you take over computers. At least you get to be Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, give us some ratings.
For 1974, IMDb gave it a 7.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes an 8.3. I'm going to go with that being, I suppose it should be an 83% out of 100.
Yeah.
Letterboxd a 3.8 out of 5.
Yeah,
John, what say you to 1974?
I give it 4.5.
Really?
4 3/4.
I'm going to stick with 4.5. And then for 2003, IMDb gave it a 6.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 37% out of 100. Letterboxd 3 out of 5. What say ye? Billy.
2.5.
John.
4.
I'm going to go right in the middle with 3.5. Not right in the middle, but close enough.
See, we all would have been
liked
the
it.
same on 74 if Billy didn't have to be fucking difficult and go in a quarter.
I was thinking almost 5, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Rotten
it's
Tomatoes,
definitely
yeah.
close.
And next week, we're going head to head. And oh, the sights you'll see. We got Hellraiser 1987 and 2022.
Jesus wept.
Has anybody seen Hellraiser 2022 yet?
No.
Yes. I love the Hellraiser movies.
What was it on Tubi?
No, it's Hellraiser 2022 is on Hulu. That's a Hulu production.
Hulu.
All right.
Hulu.
Sit, Hulu, sit.
Good dog.
All right, that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for joining us today.
Before we go, find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, and most places you listen to your podcast.
And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on future episodes and join the conversation. You can find us on X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at movie_bar_pod and at the Movie Bar Podcast on Facebook.
Until next time, keep the popcorn popping and the rails rolling. And we will catch you next week on the Movie Bar Podcast.
I ain't on no ticket talking.
Little coon shit.